Hi, everybody. Welcome to episode 29 of Horizon Podcast, a podcast empowering women to overcome trauma, heal, embrace change, and through our community, we strive to inspire women to create a future where they lead with love, confidence, and courage, helping break boundaries and reach new horizons. Hi, everybody. I hope you guys stayed tuned. I hope you guys tuned in to episode 28 and left us your reviews. Let me know how it was. Now we're on to our final episode of 2025, episode 29. Yay! Thank you guys for keeping up with us, staying tuned, watching, whether it's on YouTube or listening to us on Spotify, Apple Music. We appreciate you guys. Thank you. On today's episode, let's see, what are we going to talk about? We're going to talk about the evolution of Isene. Where is she at as a woman? We're going to talk about dating. We're going to talk about being single, how I view all of that. So stay tuned. Let's get into it. So let's see. I seen it as far as dating last year to this year has been very different. So last year, I want to say was like the year where I opened up myself to dating after being in a relationship for 13 years and then not dating the first year out of my relationship. I had so much going on that was not even a thought in my mind, to be honest with you. I was just trying to survive and be free. But I did have time for that 2024. And I want to say I had my good dates. I had my bad dates. I had my crazy dates. I had a little bit of everything. And I feel like there's stages when a woman leaves a relationship. There's stages that we go through. And, you know, going out with friends, knowing what's out there, knowing you as a person, dating is part of it, right? So I definitely will say I dated a few times throughout the year. Last year, I had a few, how would I say, relationships here and there, nothing serious. But I learned a lot from each one. Like I've stated before, I think that it's good to date because you get to know yourself and you get to know what you like and you don't like. You get to know yourself if you're applying boundaries or not. You get to know yourself in a way that you probably wouldn't if you were more closed off to it. It also comes with a lot, though, I'll be honest with you. It's an exchange of energy. So you have to have like a certain mental headspace for it, I believe. This year, Isene really didn't have time for that. I didn't have time to entertain. It's an entertainment because it's an act that you have to put on. And if you listen to my previous episode, you'll know why. So I really want to say that I didn't focus or have energy to date. And the way that I see dating and being single is totally different than I viewed it last year. Celibacy has been a thing in my healing. I realized that was also an exchange, and I kind of reflected on how it would make me feel, and I really didn't like it. Looking back at the men that I dated last year definitely reflected a broken part of me. And what I mean by that is that if I sat there actually and I dissected every person that I had an interaction with or that I gave my attention to, they all represented a certain part of me that may have been broken or just wasn't I wasn't in tune with. Like I said, I had my good dates. I had my crazy dates. I had my fun dates. Don't regret all of them. Um, but everything comes with something, right? And Iseen has learned to truly, truly, truly be alone and enjoy my own company, enjoy my all of me in every way, whether it's happy I seen, sad I seen, broken I seen, I've seen has faced I seen. And that also has, I think, opened up myself to how I want to be treated and how I want to be loved and appreciated. And I believe that I believe in exchange of energy. So I believe that whatever it is you throw out there is what you will receive. So at that time, I was in place. I was outside. I was going outside with my friends. I was in places where you're not going to meet somebody that wants something serious. And to be honest with you, I didn't want anything serious too. So I was where I wanted to be. And I believe that depending on where you are too, depends on the type of people that you meet. So like I've stated before, if you're at the club, you're not going to meet your man at the club, right? Even though the comments said otherwise, I had a few comments on there that were like, well, I met my wife here or I met my husband here. Hey, that's not just everybody. So congratulations to you guys. I love that for you. I don't think it applies to everybody, but I believe majority. That's just Iseen. Iseen has also learned to be more open-minded, but at the same time, be very, how would I say it? Be very aware of how I feel around those people and their presence and how they make me feel. I want to say last year was more of, and I can be very honest and transparent. Last year, after leaving my relationship and having endured what I endured, I wasn't in the best mental headspace. So I didn't have the confidence. I didn't have the self-love. I didn't have boundaries. I didn't see my self-worth. And there was a lot of things that I can honestly say I probably didn't love about myself. And my interactions allowed me to see that once I reflected back on them. And I also saw a lot of growth within myself because I saw that even though there was certain people that I got attached to, I was able to detach myself from that. And when you master detachment, that is such a powerful thing for you to master because nothing or no one will faze you. And I think what helped me out also was like, I've been through the worst and I left someone that I thought I was going to spend my life with and had children with. So there's nothing else that I can't endure after this. And being in that mentality and then remembering how they made me feel and then looking at the people that I was dating at the time, feeling certain similar emotions with them, I didn't like that. So I don't think there's anything wrong with dating. I've said this multiple times. I don't think that you should date just one person either. I think that it's okay to date multiple people and know multiple personalities. I also think that if we're going to date, we need to date better than what we had. And what I mean by that is you didn't leave who you were with and endured everything you did just to go back to it. And I know it's easier said than done, but at the same time, you have to kind of look at yourself and see what you're accepting. And a lot of that reflects back on how you feel about yourself. And I looked at last year as, I didn't really love myself. I accepted whatever came, but I also was in a season of let me know what's out there, which there really isn't much from where I was at. Okay. Because I do believe that there is good men out there. I'm not going to sit here and say they're all shit, but a good majority of them are not, they're not that good. Okay, I believe that not all men aren't shit. There's good men out there. The way I see it is if I'm a good woman. I know that I'm a good woman. I've done a lot of work internally, emotionally. I've worked on myself. I continuously try to, how would I say? I've worked on myself. I've been doing the work to be a better woman overall. I'm very different than the woman that was in a relationship and the woman that I was these past 2 years. I decided to take a break from dating this year just because, I'll be honest, the men that I was dating at the beginning of the year. So what I told myself is 2024, I see you're going to leave all the people that I was talking to in 2024. And I did. I started off the year wanting to be more intentional in talking to people, not so much casually dating, because I was casually dating in 2024. And I wanted to be a little bit more intentional this year. This year had other plans for me where dating wasn't even in the picture. And within this year, I realized that dating wasn't even in my headspace. I didn't even have the capacity to entertain. Have I talked to men here and there? Yes. It hasn't lasted more than maybe a day or two. Conversation is very low. And I realized that I'm looking for, not looking, because I don't like to say I'm looking, but I seen like step. I seen is over the ego. I don't need men to feed my ego no more. Last year, like I said, I was working on myself. I was working on my mental, emotional. I was working on my body. I was working on my inner and outer. And, I was broken. When you leave a relationship, like the type of relationship that I was in, men tend to break you to where you don't have no self-love or you don't even know who you are. So I was discovering myself along as I was dating as well. And I learned a lot about myself and what I like and don't like and what I will tolerate and won't tolerate. I know my negotiables and my non-negotiables, and I stand on those. I know the type of relationship that I want and the type of man that I see myself with in the future. And that cleared a lot of things for me, where it also helped me not accept just anything. And I've done the work enough to love myself, to know what I deserve and who I am and what I won't allow or tolerate. And my standards are standing. There's no breaking those down. Every time that I broke my standards, it never worked out. So I learned not to do that. Like I said, I have negotiables and non-negotiables. And yeah, I learned the hard way. So I also learned that I don't need a man. I don't need a man to make me feel good. I don't need a man to take me out. I don't need a man to fulfill me. I don't need a man to make me happy. A man is not a necessity. It's an added value to my life. I learned that I am my true happiness. I learned that if you can't love me how I love myself, don't waste my time, because I love myself. There's nothing that I haven't done for myself that a man won't be able to do or more. Because I do have a certain lifestyle for myself. I do carry myself a certain way. I am a certain type of woman. I'm very proud of who I am. I love who I am. And I don't need validation from anyone, to be honest with you. And that's taken a lot of work for me and for me to get to this place. So how would I say it? I seen 2024 dating was fun, ego-driven, superficial, casual. What kind of men do I pull? What kind of men do I not? That was 2024 I seen. 2025 I seen is very selective. I don't entertain just anybody. I don't believe that we should just entertain anybody. It is a quick dopamine hit, and you're going to continue to fiend for more. So why not just find a way to not rely on those quick dopamine hits of he's texting me or he wants to take me out on a date, or because along with that comes sometimes where they don't reply back, or they don't make it to the date, and it's an emotional roller coaster. So you went from one emotional roller coaster of a relationship to another emotional roller coaster of another relationship. So it's kind of like you're going within the same path, just a different person, and it's a different route, but it's the same patterns and behaviors, just with somebody new. And I'm very outspoken about this with my friends, and on social media, I'll be making TikToks or Reels where to me, it's like, I like to question why as women we leave something and then just to go get worse. I don't understand that. The whole point of us leaving something that didn't make us happy or didn't respect us or didn't love us the way we wanted to be loved is to make space for something of that. And instead, sometimes I feel like vulnerability has a lot to do with it. Lack of self-love and self-worth has a lot to do with it, where you're just willing to take anything or anyone that pays attention to you. And that can lead to similar patterns as the last relationship that are going to create new traumas for you. And I used to be, I'll be honest with you guys, very judgmental when it comes down to like dating. I remember I spoke about this at the beginning of Horizon, where I used to say, you need to heal before you go into dating somebody else. I still believe that, but I also believe that depending on certain people, they can make it work. I've seen certain friendships that went from one relationship to another and they've made it work, but it's taken a lot of work because you're going from one person into another person and you're bringing your traumas with you, but that person is willing to go through it with you. So that kind of opened my mind to like, okay, there's that possibility that can happen. But it just makes the relationship harder, but it can happen, And then me preferably, the way I view it is I want to show up as my best self for my next relationship. And the next relationship I do have, I want it to be something serious. And I'm so in tune with my intuition. I'm so in tune with the green, the red, pink, all the flags. And not that I want to say that it's because I want to avoid making the same mistake, but for sure, I learned the first time with my ex, and I don't want to put myself in a situation similar to it in any way. So I want to take my time. I want to get to know somebody when the time comes. I'm not in a rush. I am enjoying being single. I am enjoying this stage of my life, having this freedom, getting to know who I am as the woman that I am in this age, in this part of my life where I'm at right now. I am getting to know me in depth outside of my traumas, outside of my triggers. I am healing. I am learning that I'm very different than I was when I was younger, and what I used to like, I don't like anymore. And it's just a breath of fresh air in who I am now as to who I was a year ago or 2 years ago. And I love it here. I love being alone. I know that not everybody has that same thought, and certain people maybe need other people there. I don't think that's true, but that's what they make themselves believe. I think it's okay to take time. Take time to know who you are, what your beliefs are, especially because as we get older, our beliefs change. What we grew up knowing, learning, and what our parents implemented in us can change as we get older. And they change outside of the relationship that you used to be in, because when you are in a relationship, you kind of form yourself around that relationship. And sometimes it's not really who you are. So taking the time to get to know yourself outside of, how you grew up, taking the time to get to know yourself outside of the relationship, getting to know yourself, just you, will really put things into perspective, and it will clear a lot of things that you maybe had doubt within yourself. And I believe the core of it is also your beliefs overall. And I see a lot of women that had left their relationships, jump into other relationships that aren't any better than the relationship they were in. And you're hurting yourself, to be honest with you, because you left something that didn't serve you anything for something doing the same thing, just a different body. And all because they probably told you everything you wanted to hear in the honeymoon stage, which is the first couple of months. And not only that, but you didn't take the time to really get to know if someone's being honest. You didn't get the time to take the time to get to know what they're really about. What do they believe in? What is their career? What are their goals in the future? How are they as, a father or a mother? Is what they're telling you true? And you can figure all that out just by getting to know somebody. And you don't have to jump into a relationship. If that person really likes you, they're going to stick around. And if they don't, it wasn't meant to be. Because I feel like a lot of women get pushed into being in relationships, and they get love bombed. And it sounds good, especially because after leaving, we're vulnerable. We're not in a good headspace. So it's easy for somebody to come in and just love bomb you and tell you everything you want to hear. And you miss out on all the flags because you're so focused on, he said I'm pretty, or you're so focused on, he said he's going to take care of me, or you're so focused on, oh my God, he loves my kids. Which to me, honestly, I am a mom of 2 girls. And personally, I'm very vocal about all this. I'm very vocal about it with my friends on my social media. I don't think it's a good idea to introduce children to somebody if it's been a certain amount of time. Because one thing is for you to want to be loved and for you to want to be selfish with that and involve yourself in that relationship. But another thing is to bring the children in, and the children, when the relationship is over, are going to end up hurting too. Not only are they going to end up hurting, but they're also confused. We just left dad, or we just left mom, and here's somebody else coming in. Are they trying to, the children are still trying to process the separation, and we're coming in with somebody else, and you're mind fucking them too. You're confusing them. And I don't think a lot of people take into account the children when it comes down to a new relationship. And you don't have to bring the kids into the relationship. A relationship is between 2 people. And if they're good partners in the future, within time, I think you can introduce them to the children once it's serious. Once you see the good, and not only that, but once you see past the love bombing and you see that it's true, their intentions are real, their intentions are pure, they're good men or women, they have qualities that you didn't have before in your previous relationship, I think then it might be a good time. But I think introducing children right off the bat within 3, 4, 5, even 6 months, to me, it's a little too much, because that's not enough time to get to know somebody. I'm sorry. And yes, there is that saying of when you know, but then tell me a year later, 2 years later, how that goes. Statistics show. I'm sorry. There is those rare cases where when you know, and those are very minimal and very rare. But for the most part, something that goes transpires fast doesn't, it ends fast, and it doesn't end good either. So I think that introducing children to new partners within the first 6 months, maybe even a year, might be too much. I personally think that I know that some women want to have the family dynamic. They want, the mom and dad in the household. They want to have a family and, kumbaya and all that stuff. But at the same time, that child has a father or a mother, and they can't be replaced. Whoever you date is just an added value to your life. They're not replacing anyone. And with me personally, unless I'm engaged or there's a ring on this finger, I choose not to bring anybody around my daughters. And me and that person would have to be talking for a long time, because I'm okay with having 2 separate lives. I'm okay with having my personal life and then having my children in my life here. I don't need a man to be a stepdaddy. I don't need a man to help me raise my children. I don't need a man to provide. That is great. It's added. It's, thank you. But at the same time, I got it. And they have a father, whether he's in the picture or not in the picture, that is between him and I and my children. And that's just the way I view things. Of course, not everybody's going to see things like that. And everybody has, their own way of thinking and knowing what they want in their life. But personally, like I said, I believe it's protect the children. Don't introduce them to just anybody. They don't need to meet 3-4 dating partners in a year. That is just not healthy parenting. You're damaging them more and you're being selfish. And when it comes down to you dating, be selfish, but keep the children out of it. You get me? Like, don't just because you want a family or just because you want that household that you pictured maybe with your ex, with the new one, let's not do that. Let's protect them and their emotions. And our children also are very in tune and aware, and they'll know. And sometimes, I feel like some people force relationships onto children that they shouldn't, because children will know before we know. They know energy so good. So just listen to your children and just don't bring people around, honestly. Like, take your time. Get to know somebody, like, in depth. Don't just, because they tell you all the sweet little things. Oh my God, you're so beautiful. Oh my God, you're the best I've ever had. Don't believe everything they say. Okay. And we have to be more aware of the love bombing, the red flags. To me, honestly, I can tell based off a text message if we're going to hit it off. I can tell based off the first interaction if what type of person you are. It's so sad. I'm not trying to be judgmental, but I feel like I'm just that in tune with my intuition that it tells me right off the bat, and it's there to protect me. And I learned to listen the first time, because last year I dated certain people and I had certain feelings about them that I fought within myself not to act on. And that was my intuition trying to protect me, but I didn't listen, and it didn't turn out good, or it didn't make me feel good after, because I ignored that. And I think what a lot of us women do is we ignored the first red flag or the second red flag, or we make, what is that called? We make excuses to dismiss those flags, and the flags just keep piling up, and you keep dismissing it because you're so caught up on the what it could be or what it used to be at the beginning, that by the time that you actually see the flags and it shows you and it's screaming in your face, they're red, you're like, I'm too deep in. I'm emotionally attached. And I need women to understand we are emotional creatures. We will get attached, especially when you're vulnerable. You will get attached. It's inevitable to not. That's just how we're born. And you have to be very careful and very mindful of what these people tell you, because some of them, and not only that, but you have to be very careful. If a person is talking too much and he's talking a lot of sweet little things, he does that for a living. He's got 5 other girls that he's texting the same thing. Another one is insecure men. Be careful for insecure men. They will tell you right off the bat. And I've spoken on this before. It comes off with like, they're a little jealous, and to you, you think that's cute because you think that they're loving, and oh my God, that means that, he likes me. That's possessiveness. Those insecurities, an insecure man is a very dangerous man, because they turn possessive and controlling. And it's just not someone you want as a partner, because they literally drain the life out of you. They suck your light off because they're insecure, because they are not happy with, it could be the way they look, their finances. You may be too much of a woman, that to them is too much. You're They might tell you that you are too much. And anybody that tells anybody, whether that's a friend, family member, anybody that tells you that you're too much, that means that they're not enough. I've gotten told that a lot. I'm too much. I expect too much. I will not lower my standards in friendships, in any relationship for anybody. And that's what I stand on 2025. I learned that the hard way. I have given second chances to friends that have shown me how they really felt even after giving second chances. So I don't give second chances anymore. I am a very transparent, genuine, authentic person. And leaving my ex showed me who I truly am. And I am a lot. And I am a light that not everybody can handle. And I'm not for everybody. And I'm not meant to be liked by everybody. And I'm okay with that, because the people that I do get along with and we're within the same circle, that's all I need. I don't need to be fake to be liked. I don't need to be liked. Men are easily intimidated by my energy, my aura, who I am. And sometimes it's not even about looks. It's just about character, my personality, and the way I hold myself when I walk into a room. And I hold myself with, I demand respect. I'm big on that, because I didn't have, it also goes back to my relationship I had. I didn't have boundaries. I didn't have self-respect. That person didn't love or respect me. He was intimidated by me. There was a lot of things that I refuse to tolerate now or didn't for anybody. And I stand on those so hard. So a lot of my friends are like, oh, you're not dating. You haven't dated in a minute. You haven't told me about anybody. And to be honest with you, no, I haven't. The last time I went on a date was, I think back in April, the end of April or May, I want to say. And it's somebody that I met at the club, which that's automatic red flag. Okay. And love bombed me. Okay. Was sending me Apple Cash here and there, paying for this, paying for that. So it was kind of like a financial love bombing too, on top of telling me everything he wanted to hear. A lot of the last couple of men that I spoke to kind of consistently, I would say, was early on this year. And a lot of them used my podcast to get to know me and as a script into me. And I learned, okay, so now my podcast, because I'm very open about my life, they're able to use that to get to know me and tell me what I want to hear. So I had to look at it in a different perspective. So it helped me grow. And because I also did feel stupid talking to these men and believing what they had to say, it made me look at it differently. And it wasn't that I backed off because I was scared to get hurt. It was just, I don't want to feel stupid anymore. And I'm out here wasting my time with these men that I know are not for me. And you feel it, just like how they say men will know when they look at a woman if they're interested seriously or not. It's the same thing with women. We see it, we know it, we feel it, we just ignore it because sometimes we don't want to accept it because we may be lonely or we like the attention. But past the attention, past the superficial, what is it really bringing into your life, right? And like I've stated, a man or a woman that comes into your life should be an added value to you. It shouldn't be something that you need to have to make you feel happy or make you feel good. And I've realized that the type of man that I want isn't out in these clubs, isn't out in these bars, isn't out on no dating app, isn't out on social media. I believe my man doesn't have social media. I believe that the person that I do have when the time is right, which is me healed. I mean, healing is never ending, but in a place where I'm not triggered, in a place where I don't feel like I'm broken or I don't feel like things are too much. where I'm financially in a happy place, where I'm at my best. When I feel like I will meet my man when I am my best, when I show up as my best. And I'm still working on that. And I'm so focused on becoming the best me in every area of my life that I don't have time or energy to waste on superficial relationships. And that goes, like I said, friendship, family, the opposite sex, any relationship. I don't have energy for that. I want to be so transparent, so authentic, and just be myself, and them genuinely love who I am, that I don't have to fake anything. I don't have to put an act. I looked at all my dates last year, or relationships that I had, or situation, whatever you want to call them, and I literally had to perform. So it went from, I was with my ex who I tolerated so much, and, father of my kids, et cetera, and I took so much, to I did the same thing with these other men, but in different ways. And I told myself, never again will I perform or be fake for anybody. I want it to be everything about my life. I want it to be authentic. Everything about my life, I want it to be real. I want just genuine connections. I want you to see me for me, not for just my beauty, I want you to see me for in depth. I am much more than the way I look. And another thing I recently was, I had to go through I went through I don't want to say image crisis, but every time I took a picture of myself, or like a friend took a picture of me and they showed me that that's who I was, I couldn't believe it. And it wasn't that I was so consumed with being stuck up, but it was, I didn't recognize that person in that picture, because I'm still working on myself, but I've been dedicated to the gym. I've been dedicated to cleaning my skin. I've been dedicated to, having my hair grow. I've been dedicated to just healing and loving every single part of myself. From, I experienced a lot of hair loss when I was in my relationship. So chronic stress is a lead factor for underlying health issues. And I started to get to know myself, from what foods are good for me, what makes me, I've gone through a lot of healing in many ways this year, from getting to know what I can eat, to what I can't, to what works for my skin, to what works for my hair, to what works for absolutely everything, the tiniest little things. Okay. And as women, I like to consider myself a high maintenance woman. I do. I love getting my nails done. I love getting my lashes done. I love getting beauty services done. They're a part of who I am, and they're healing as well for me. Those appointments are not just appointments. They're therapy sessions as well. And they make me feel good after, because I also look good. So it's just all connected, right? And I'm doing all these things to make myself feel good, and then to sit here and bring people into my life that still take from that, I was like, no. So I've worked so much internally and externally on myself to allow anyone to come in my space and be negative. I just can't do that. And I've had to let go of friendships that no longer serve me. And that was tough, honestly, because I cared for, my friends are like a second family to me. So I truly care for my friendships in my life. And they've shown me how they really felt about me. And because I was so vulnerable with those people, and they knew more than probably anybody else, those loss of friendships hurt, but they also built me in different ways. And I feel like everything that we go through in life is for a purpose. And along with those friendships, I also, like I said, I had relationships of the opposite sex that just weren't serving me. And I realized that it was a quick dopamine hit. Yeah, it feels good to be called this, but I already know that. I know I'm beautiful. I know I'm smart. I know I'm this. I know I'm whatever. I don't need to be told that. And when you know that about yourself, that's dangerous because nothing that anybody says can sit here and phase you. It's not going to sit here and convince you or manipulate you into, oh my God, he thinks I'm so pretty, or he thinks I'm so smart. Oh my God, he said this and that. It's not going to work. I need you to see me for who I really am. See me past that. See me past my looks. See me past my body. See me past the superficial of what you just see. So back to what I was saying. In those pictures, I look at myself and I see the person that I've been working to become, but mentally, I wasn't there. Physically, I looked the best I've ever looked before. This is the best I have ever looked. This is the best my skin's ever been. My hair's growing. I feel in tune with my body. I listen to my body. I listen to when it tells me that it's not okay. I make sure that I am in tune with my nervous system. I'm in tune with my intuition. I'm in tune with my nervous system. I'm in tune with my subconscious. I'm in tune spiritually with God. And all of those have helped me align myself with a higher me. And that higher me will not tolerate less than what I feel I deserve. But I also make sure that I am that person for my person in the future. And I'm not there. And I'm okay, willing to take the time to get to be there. So that girl that I may look at in the pictures, I haven't fully become there mentally or emotionally, if that makes any sense. So I'm still working to catch her up because I'm still in my past, not really, but I'm still kind of stuck in some of my past ways that I am working to unlearn, whether it's bad behavior, bad attitude, short fuse. Like there's a lot of things that I'm working on within myself to be the best me. Not just as a mother, but as a woman, as a person, as a sister, as a daughter, as a friend overall. And what I believe to my core, when the time is right and when I am my most happiest and my most best self, the right person will come for me, or I will meet the right person, and it will be at the least place I probably expected. That's what I believe. And I'm okay with taking my time and allowing it to just be. I would love to establish a friendship before a relationship or romantic relationship. That's the way I see it. So I'm not in a rush. I had my fun. I think that every woman that leaves a relationship or anybody that leaves a relationship has that stage. And I think it's normal. I just don't believe you should like stay in it. I think that, feel it, live it, experience it, and move forward from it. Don't stay in it because some people get stuck in it. I think that you should prioritize your mental, emotional health, your traumas, heal from whatever that previous relationship you were in did to you. Take your time. Be patient. Good things take time. Good things don't happen like that. Good things take time. Good friendships take time. Good, everything. A business takes time for it to grow. I mean, things like that. So just be patient. Learn to love yourself. Learn to look in the mirror and say, what do I have to fix about myself? What do I not like? Or, when you're in a relationship, I feel like we should look at what did we bring or what did we add or not add to the relationship as well. So you can fix that for the next relationship that you have. a lot of people actually tend to trauma bond. So there's been relationships where I believe, this is what I believe, okay? I believe that everybody that comes into your life, it's for a reason, a season, and there's a purpose. That person could be, let's say that there was somebody that came into your life and got you out of a relationship that you weren't in. That's not ideal. And that's not really a good way to leave a relationship. But if that's the purpose that is served, that's the purpose that is served. It doesn't mean that that's the person you're going to stay with. Sometimes people come into your life to show you that there's more out there. It doesn't mean that they're the one. Or sometimes somebody can come into your life to take you out of a situation that you thought you would never get out of, but it doesn't mean that you have to stay there. So everything is about perception and looking at the big picture, not at the little picture where you're looking at, this is how it makes me feel. So we have to learn to use logic over emotion, because emotion can be detrimental to your life depending on who you're bringing in. So I believe that you have to be very cautious of who you allow in your life. And sometimes they're just there for a season and there's a purpose and they serve their purpose and it's time to go. Thank you. I see what you came in to do. I see what this was. You and I are not compatible. You served your purpose. It's time to go. That's what I believe. For anybody, friendships, sometimes friendships come into your life to, open up your eyes to, who you are or what you will allow and won't allow, things like that. So I think it's all about how you view it. And I think it's also learning experiences. Life is never going to just life. Life is always going to throw something at you, and it's about you being ready and having the tools to face whatever it is it throws at you. What that means is not overreacting, not thinking it's the end of the world, not being overly emotional. But what I realize works for me is I need time to process, because I am a overly emotional person. I was somebody that was on survival for so long that I became numb. So all these new feelings and emotions that I have are new to me, because the only thing I had was numb, angry, and I was on survival. So all these new feelings that I'm having are overwhelming for me, because I never knew what these were back then. And I'm learning how I work, how my nervous system works. And I'm learning that I've is an overly emotional, reactive person. So I now take a step back, give myself time to process the situation, and give my emotions time to settle. And I give myself time to process it, not emotionally, but more logically. And what is this? What's the purpose of this? How can I handle this? And the way that I probably would have handled it emotionally versus calm is very different. And so I've learned a lot about myself when it comes down to situations. And I learned my toxic traits too, that it's hard not to become like the person that you were with. And it's a back and forth between two people, especially if you were in it for such a long time, that takes a minute to unlearn or rewire. And that's probably the stage where I'm at right now, where I'm seeing who I seen was, and who I seen doesn't want to be, and who I do want to be, and who I truly am to my core, from my beliefs to how I think to who I am. And I've gotten to know myself so in depth that it's not just superficial. I'm not just a pretty face that speaks her mind. I'm much more than that. I respect myself like I've never respected myself. And I expect that respect from friends, family members, or the opposite sex relationships. And I'm big on that because I didn't have any of that in my past relationship. There was a lot of abuse. There was a lot of disrespect. There was no boundaries. It was just so unhealthy that all I want to be surrounded by is nothing but genuine love. And if you don't have that for me, it's okay. Go over there. So I'm very in tune with people's energy. When I walk in a room, I can tell who likes me, who doesn't like me, and it's okay. We don't have to be best friends. Stay over there. We're good. You don't have to fake it around me. You don't got us. And then because of the platform that I've built, I realized too that comes with a lot of like people that just want to, how would I say it? Want to be around me because I have a platform. And it's not genuine. And I don't like that. So I've gotten to know those type of people too. And I don't want anybody in my circle that's intimidated by who I am. I need you to be secure. I need you to be comfortable. I need you to be working on a better you. I can't tolerate people with negative mindsets. I've had friends where I've had to pour. And after reflecting back, it was so draining. And I even got into a friendship that reminded me of my ex. And I was like, damn, I was mind blown because it doesn't matter if it's a man or a woman. Sometimes a friendship can be just like your previous relationship. And that was a trauma bond. And the way that relationship ended was so heartbreaking, but God showed me who the snakes in my corner were. And this year was a year of clarity. It was a year of growth, evolution at its finest in every way. And I can't wait for 2026. 2026 is going to be a year of financial growth. I seen it's going to have the mental, emotional capacity to deal with my businesses. So I'm an entrepreneur. I'm in the beauty industry. I'm an esthetician. I do eyelashes, waxing, and brows. I am also an educator. I've taken time off these past 3 years from educating because I have not been okay, but I plan to hopefully get back into that. I want to work on my creative side. I also have Creative Drip, which is my little bears and my Hello Kitty. So I haven't been able to, I launched that this year and I haven't been able to give it the love it needs because I haven't been okay. I also have Horizon, which I've poured into, and I have been consistent. Out of all my businesses, Horizon has been the one that I've been consistent with, but it's also taken so much emotion from me. But I believe that in 2026, I will be okay to be able to run all three and really pour and be that businesswoman that I am, because I love business. I thrive under it. It's just this year has really taken a toll in other areas where I haven't been able to showcase that. And I'm excited to rebuild my businesses and grow them outside of survival, outside of the way I built them. I built them, I seen was on survival. I seen was escaping. I seen was definitely very passionate about it. And I loved it. But at the same time, it was not built on how I want to build them in 2026. I want to build them in peace. I want to build them outside of chaos. I want to build them with just creativity, love, and passion. And I'm excited for 2026. I don't want to say that I don't want to date, but I want to intentionally date, and I leave it up to God, whoever God wants to bring into my life, and whatever the lessons may be, I am open. I am able to walk away from anything that doesn't serve me. I am able to create boundaries and stay within those boundaries. And I know when I'm being treated, loved, and viewed the way I want to be, and I know now, and I won't take any less. I know how to be a woman too. I have to tell you, I didn't know what being a soft woman was. And I'm definitely a soft woman. And not broken, but soft in a sense of like, I love my femininity. I love being a woman and not always walking in my masculine. I know how to turn that off because I am a full-time mom. I am a single mom, and I have to play so many roles. I feel like we naturally walk in our masculine, but now I know how to turn that off and be feminine and be girly and be soft. And I've never met her before, but I met her this year, and I am emotional and I love her. And what I used to think crying was a weakness, now crying is a form of strength that not everybody can accept, because I feel like in our generation, we were brought up to think that crying is a form of weakness, when in reality, our body needs to release all of that. And crying is good for you. It's shows that you're human. We're not robots. And I've definitely gotten in tune with that side of myself. And I love her. I love everything that she has become. Everything that I have overcome has built me. I am resilient. I am ambitious. I am loving. I am caring. I am one of a kind. And I love me. I love who I am. I love who I stand for, what I stand for. I've never been so secure in my beliefs like now. And dating going forward is very different than it was this year or last year. And I'm excited for whatever the future holds, whatever lessons are thrown at me, whatever I'm ready for. And all I have to say, my best advice is focus on yourself. Get to know who you are. Find hobbies. It's okay to be selfish. Find a spiritual connection, whatever it may be, and however it may look for you. Don't worry about what the outside noise is. Focus on yourself. Prioritize your mental and emotional health. Heal those wounds. They can be from your inner child to, becoming an adult, whatever it may be. Just heal that part of you so you don't carry that with you and create a certain dynamic in your relationships. But I hope that you guys got something out of this episode. I'm so excited. This is the final episode for 2025, episode 29. I can't wait to start off 2026 with episode 30. I just feel like God aligns everything for me. I've been so in tune with energies, my intuition, everything, that I feel like everything that has transpired has had its purpose. And there's nothing that I can't overcome that I haven't gone through already. And I believe that women, we are just get to know yourself, get to know your powers, your everything about you. Please leave us a comment. Let me know how you liked this episode or any of our other episodes. Thank you for the shares, the likes, the follows. And I hope you guys got something out of this episode. I can't wait to see you guys in 2026. And I can't wait for you guys to see. And like I said, you're healing with me in time. And I try to be very open and transparent with my life, hoping that it helps somebody, and just know that I've been there. I've overcame it. You can overcome it. And you will overcome it. Take your time, and catch you guys in 2026. Love you guys.